What's up, YouTube? Brian Van Dyne here. So I wanted to do a quick little video about, obviously dump truck related. Driver says, oh, there's no power. Okay, so you got to think, okay, an engine, how does an engine run? Okay, inside an engine there's fire. What do you need to make fire? Okay, it's literally this simple. Going back to the Boy Scouts, you need oxygen, you need fuel, and you need heat, right? Those three things make fire. So the first things you want to check on your dump truck, if it's got no power, you want to check your fuel filters, right? Here's your little sight glass. Oh, that filter looks pretty black, doesn't it? Obviously, you can't check the cartridge filter because there's no sight glass or nothing. They should make a sight glass on those, but honestly, there's really no point if you change them at intervals like me. So there's that. Then you want to check your air cleaner, right? If your air filter is not clean, it's not going to get the air it needs to produce the power. Okay, what else produces air in a diesel motor for the motor to run? This right here. The turbo. This is the turbo. Right? This side of the turbo is the air compressor. This side is the exhaust side. So exhaust air spools through here, spins a turbine. The turbine is connected to a turbine over here, right? Which sucks air in, and then it compresses it and then cools it down so it can go back into the motor. Right? So if you got no power, it's one of those three things. If the engine is running normal, you either got no fuel pressure or you got no air pressure. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're going to do it like this. Another thing I wanted to get at on this little video, okay. You can see we have a small exhaust leak up there. You can tell because there's a little soot buildup. You can tell we have an exhaust leak there because there's a little soot buildup. Okay? When exhaust starts leaking before the turbo, that's going to give you a guaranteed power loss. Right? Because what it is doing is the air pressure is getting relieved before it gets to the turbo. Right? So that's the manifold, the exhaust manifold right there. That's the exhaust gas regulator right there. And that's the EGR valve. So clearly it's leaking on the manifold. Clearly it's leaking on the EGR cooler. It doesn't look like a major leak. Looks like a very small leak because the amount of soot that's there. Right? And this is all before the DPF filter. So obviously there's going to be soot. Plastic stuff on these motors. This is plastic. It's starting to leak. It's gonna break eventually, probably, just like that one they had in the motor. It's a quick fitting that goes into the motor. It's plastic. It broke. We ended up having to put a brass one on there. You can see it right in there. So that's where we're going to start our diagnosing. Looks like we got a small little coolant leak right there. You can see it on top. We'll tighten that clamp up if it's loose. Looks like that clamp is bottomed out. Oh, there's 2 clamps on there. Time to put a 3rd one on there. Just kidding. We're gonna check that out. All right. Well, I gotta get this thing warmed up because I'm gonna change the fuel filters and the oil filters. There's the 2 fuel filter or the 2 oil filters. And I'll tell you what, the oil drains a lot faster from those little tiny quick drain plugs if the oil's hot. Also, it's easier to prime a warm motor and get it started after you do a fuel filter change if the motor is warm. If you try and start a cold motor with a new prime, they don't like to start as easy. It looks like this is leaking too. Low fuel pressure. See the seepage? Check this out, guys. These are some old fuel filters that just came out of, that I've been kind of collecting over near the fuel island just because I haven't thrown them away or whatever. This one looks like it's actually exploded, and it's got this, it's almost like a gel to it. I believe what this is the fuel has gotten some sort of algae in it. It's kind of gelatinized it. This filter like literally almost exploded from it. You can tell this one, it's not bulging or nothing like this one. It was sitting down like this in this fuel pan where there's diesel fuel in there. All of these were sitting in there. I'm imagining this one was sitting in there for the most amount of time. Interesting. If you know what that is, put it in the comments. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of algae that grew into that was growing in that filter, and it kind of jellified the diesel, I'm guessing. I don't know. Never seen that before.